Hello, all you wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people. So, we have, at least currently to date, the last retro game treasure that I'm gonna be getting for a while. So, should be, will be interesting to see what they sent me. Yeah. The service itself has been pretty good. In fact, I think I prefer this box over Video Games Monthly. Um, the only reason I'm canceling, well, a majority of the reason why I'm canceling both, I'm canceled Video Games Monthly just because I felt I was getting sent kind of more shovelware than what I really wanted. But the reason I'm canceling this is just because I'm taking a new approach, I guess, to how I'm collecting. I kind of want to only collect the stuff I want to play instead of just random stuff here or there to grow the collection super big. Like, I don't necessarily need that. I want it relatively small and condensed to where I can just, it's easy for me to just kind of play the games. But we will see what they sent me for my final month to see if I'll end up keeping it or if I'm gonna end up getting rid of some of it. So we will see. As always, we have the. Oh no. Well, this air pillow is not a pillow. In fact, it was defeated in a rather. Probably seen some scary stuff over its lifetime. That's unfortunate. But we do have this one, which is pretty puffed up. Alright, what do we got here? I feel a Game Boy Advance. I feel that could be a Game Gear, maybe. Or a Game Boy Color or something along the lines. And I feel a regular Nintendo. So I have 3 games. We'll go from smallest to biggest size-wise. And we have, well, interesting. So, I don't know particularly which one this is, but I did get an import of Mario and Luigi. Says RPG. Is this like the first one that released on the Game Boy Advance? I don't really remember. Like Mario and Luigi Superstars or whatever it was called. I don't really remember. That is pretty neat. Let's see, and let's work our way up to see what this is, which is a Game Boy Color. And we have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Awesome. And finally, which, with the NES, initials TD. Well, that's kind of funny if you saw the recent three-way stop. I got Double Dragon. First one, to be exact. But Yeah, so as far as Double Dragon, don't think it was I don't think it was received that well, but or maybe it was good for the time, but the sequel might have did things quite better. Um, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 is probably just kind of, well, it's like any other sports game. Obviously, the pick of the box is Mario and Luigi RPG, but yeah. So I will see you over on price charting. Alright, hello all. So, Mario and Luigi RPG, specifically this cartridge, loose goes for $5.05 according to price charting. Then we will look up Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 GBA. Or wait, no, just Game Boy. Might be Game Boy Color. Let me see. Oh yeah, Game Boy Color. In which this one is also a $5 game. So then we have Double Dragon NES. Which we were looking at American, so that is $13. So make sure there's nothing else. There is nothing else in the box. So that brings me to about about $23 pretty much. Maybe a little bit over cents wise, but yeah. So the value kind of wasn't there this month either. So, but like I said, I ended up canceling anyways. So I will see you in gameplay portion. Alright, everyone. Time for the game testing portion. I was a little bit worried there because this is actually not showing up in the preview of my capture card, so I had to do things a little differently. I'm using OBS to capture the video device directly into my OBS, and that is how I'm seeing it now. So I'm pretty much using OBS for my display. But anyways, we have 3 games here from our Retro Game Treasure for this month. We'll start off with the most unlikely one that I'm really able to play is the Mario and Luigi RPG. Just to see if it will. Which it is loaded in fine. Would be pretty cool if this is actually already in English, but I highly doubt that. Yeah, I was a little. I'll talk about it after testing the games, but I'll give you briefly what I've thought of this box. As we wait for it to load. And it's importing any save data that was already on the cartridge. So it does say Mario and Luigi RPG. Let's play it. Nintendo. Well, that's definitely not in English. And I've never played this game, but that audio does not sound right to me. It almost sounds like it's skipping a little bit. I don't know what any of these mean, but... it's not gonna matter what I go into, so we will already just load up this already... Oh gosh. There isn't... how to... Oh! You need to use the second one to make the other one jump. Yeah, so each one has their own jump button on the controller. Which is yeah, as it shows up there. Fortunately, I'm not gonna really be able to do anything because I can't really read what people are saying. Okay, so this is interesting. This is interesting because some of it is in English, like solo, bros, run, item. Now, I don't know specifically what these attacks are, but basically B is Luigi and A button is Mario's action button. That is interesting. So I could technically play this, but as far as actually being able to understand the story, not so much. Let's try a brother's move. We'll waste some big moves here. Okay, that was interesting. Alright, so we'll try this one then. So anyways, yeah, I'm glad I got to show off as much as I did. That is a pretty good game to get. It's just too bad that, well, it's really only worth like $5, at least on price charting. Now, if this was the PAL version, that would be roughly around $20 or so. But this is an import version from Japan. Next up, we have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Let's see how well this one holds up. Wonder if they got copyrighted music fit on this small little cartridge. Probably not. Doesn't sound like it, but we do got a career mode, we got single session, and we got free skate. Let's do a little bit of free skate. Tony Hawk's. So I do know of some of these names because I do relatively follow the X Games a little bit. Not in full detail, but Suburbia Skater Island. So all the same, pretty much all the same levels. Now I wonder how this is. Apparently that's how you manual, and that's how you fall over. How do I switch? Can I go up, or is that a no? There's gotta be a way to switch. My problem is I don't really know the buttons to... Okay, that's the grind button. Cool. Now, question is, how do I... How do I... Ah! Trying to figure out how to switch planes. Like, how do I go up? Well, I'm not sure. That did not play terrible. Unlike some of the sports games or extreme sports games I got on the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, that did not play horrible. And now we are gonna try out. I believe this is the port. Oh, don't you start saying that now. Okay, I just need to get it to... That's the thing. With the Retron 5, you gotta be very particular when you put in a game. Come on. Like, I already cleaned it, so... Don't think that's really the issue. Issue just might be that the... Come on. Well, this is unfortunate because this is a game I was wanting to try out. It's Double Dragon. So it says failed to dump ROM, but it's really hard to tell if that's the fault of the cartridge or the fault of the Retron 5. Failed to dump ROM. So I will just do this on screen. That way I can say I tried every bit to get it to work. So I will clean it real quick. If not, we will hop into what I thought of the box. But if this, for some reason, does not work, then I will just not get to test this game. Which is kind of alright, because I've heard this was... Well, I heard this currently at this point, I've played Double Dragon 2, which I fairly enjoyed that game. I've heard this was worse, though, as far as... Heard that the sequel was better than, well, the first one. It's alright. Let's try it again, shall we? Failed to dump ROM. Yep, it's just not going to do it, so we are going to pull me out of here a bit. Don't really need the headset anymore. Alright, so the 3 games I got. Mario and Luigi RPG's good. I believe it's Superstar Saga. Not sure, but I think that's what this is in Japan. We got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, which plays well enough. I at least could get to a point where I knew how to grind on things. Then we got Double Dragon, which I did not get a chance to try, but if my memory serves me right, because I think I had played this at some point in my life, or watched it been played. But yeah, and if my memory serves me right, the graphics were not, well, that great on here, and if I remember right, it played kind of clunky. But yeah, I may just actually keep this because I did actually end up going out and, well, I bought the sequel after playing it because I had fun with it, so thought I would add that to the collection since it was a game that I had fun with. And maybe this one's fun too. Maybe I just need to invest in an actual NES game console instead of trying to play things with the Retron 5. That or just own it to then safely emulate whatever I back up to my computer. That's option 2. So, as I said before, I canceled my subscription to both my boxes. Yeah. Part of the reason is, one, I want a little bit more control of what goes into my collection. At first, I wanted to see just how big of just what kind of random collection I could build just from these subscription boxes. But, I don't know. I want to condense down to it being, well, my collection, not just what other people think I should add to it or what are in video games monthly case, whatever shovelware they can throw me on the Game Boy Advance. That is probably a bit of a low blow, but that is kind of what I felt like when I was with that subscription. Retro Game Treasure does pretty well though as far as giving you games, though like I documented these last 2 months, the value has been really low on my boxes, so that kind of also sort of pushed me to just unsubscribe for a while. I don't know what I'll do for mystery boxes in the future, but there will still be unboxings and such. Just I don't know if there'll be mystery boxes. There will be pickup videos. There will be gameplay videos. There will be a lot of different stuff I want to do on the channel. Just Um, yeah. So yeah, thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next video.